First of all, read the piece that I wrote on Monday. I think that goes into a lot of my rationale. But for those of you who haven't read it, I'll recap a little bit. The Dow Jones has a great history. It really is the first index that was the way of measuring what the stock market was doing. People didn't really have a measure for it. The stocks would trade, and certain stocks would be up, certain would be down, but there was no real way of measuring whether the market was up or down. So Charles Dow, who was the editor of what became the Wall Street Journal, and his associate, Mr. Jones, put together an average. They didn't remember there was no index construction before, so they just took the average price of what was then 14 representative securities. I don't know how they picked them specifically, but they tended to all be railroads plus Western Union. So that was the hot sector at the time. So they basically took more or less the fangs of the day, took the prices, summed them, divided by 14, just a nice arithmetic average, and you had the first Dow Jones average. Later on, they changed it up a little bit, and they split it up into transportation and industrials and utilities, and so you ended up with the Dow Jones Industrial Averages. The problem with an average is it's price weighted, and so whatever happens to have the highest price gets weighted the heaviest in the index. So the reason why I really felt so strongly about why the Dow is showing its obsolescence is Boeing. Boeing, when the catastrophe in Ethiopia occurred, and by the way, this by no means minimizes the loss of life and that has occurred in Ethiopia and Indonesia. We're going to just talk strictly about stocks, though. You took Boeing, which was a $400 stock, and pre-market on Monday it was basically down about 10%, and so that had this huge disproportionate weighting in the Dow Jones. First of all, you can't just sum up the stocks anymore and divide them because there needs to be a special divisor, because over the years there have been index changes, there have been stock splits and takeovers. So there's a Dow divisor that, besides just taking the 30 stock prices and dividing by 30, you then have an extra an extra divisor in there. But Boeing was dragging the whole market lower, and as we're taping this now, the problem continues. So again, at the time that we're doing this, which is Tuesday afternoon, you have the Dow down roughly 100 points and the S&P's up about 10 points. Which of them is really giving you a true picture of the market? Is it the Dow, heavily weighted by Boeing, down 100 points, or is it the S&P 500, which measures the market capitalization, basically market capitalization index of the 500 leading securities? Which of them is giving you a better picture? 30 random stocks, not random, but 30, a collection of 30 stocks, weighted in almost random manner, or 500 stocks weighted in order of the amount of money that's committed to each of them. The example I gave in the article was Boeing versus Pfizer. Pfizer at about $40 is the lowest weighted stock in the Dow Jones. Interestingly, the market cap of Boeing and the market cap of Pfizer, at least as of Monday, were roughly identical. So in the market cap weighted S&P index, they rate about the same, because investors had basically decided that the market capitalization of each company, investors owned roughly $220 billion worth of each company. And so that would give them about a 1% weighting in the S&P 500. Yet when you went to the Dow Jones, the Boeing had roughly a 10% weighting, and Pfizer had about a 1% weighting. So first of all, neither of them is the average company, because that should be about 3%, which would be the average of the 100 divided by 30. So you had one disproportionately large, one disproportionately small, and the disproportionately large one is pushing all over the index in a way that just really is not reflective. It's telling you that Boeing is terrible. For more details, please read the article. I go into a bit more about the history, but I'm telling you, please, if you watch the Dow, don't. They keep reporting on it because people expect other people to be reporting on it and other people caring about it. Somehow I wish the financial media could just pretend it's not there and move on to the better constructed indices that people are watching and trading.